Hi, this is the Mediocre Gamer here, and today we're going to be doing Mediocre's Weekly Mod Mention. This is a new series where I'll be doing a mod that I've really enjoyed over the week, and I'm going to make a video on it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Today we'll be reviewing Seasons of Skyrim. This is a mod which overhauls Skyrim's landscapes to either summer or winter depending on your personal preference. You can see that on the video. On the left is the Summer's Edition and on the right is the Winter's. So the mod comes in two files. One is Winter Edition and the other is Summer Edition. But you can only activate one at a time to avoid conflicts, because otherwise this will cause your game to crash at launch and make it unplayable. The changes that both versions make are limited in biomes that already are the same season, but in areas that are different seasons it is vastly different, such as grass and trees in High Hrothgar, or snow around Riften and Whiterun. We can now make a quick comparison between summer, winter and vanilla. And at first glance we can see that Dawnstar looks very different with the summer edition, with the snow completely removed and trees added around the place. But now that we switch to winter, we can see that it looks very similar to vanilla. But if you look carefully though, you'll be able to see the added snow to the rooftops. This is not the best place to show the winter edition, but later on we'll see where it shines. So now we've gone back to vanilla. But first of all, we should have a look at each edition in depth. And to start that, we'll have a look at the summer edition. Okay, now we're going to have a look at the summer edition. I'm now going to read off what is on their page on all the features that have been added. So, first of all, it adds 1K landscapes and grass textures. This is phenomenal. This actually gives a higher resolution to all landscapes and grass textures. Makes it look absolutely stunning. As well as that, he's completely removed all snow and ice from the game, which means you won't run into any of accidental. You may do, but just report this to him and I'm sure he'll fix it for you. Another good feature is he's actually retextured all the aspen woods, so it's now a mix of green, red and orange, which now gives a bit of variation as you're walking through. As well as giving a variation to the trees, it's also given variation to grasses by making many new grasses, so it's going to be really nice to look at all the different flora now. As well as retexturing existing ones, might I add. It's also retextured ice caves, so they're like normal caves, once again to remove any like law breaking, any immersion. As well as editing watercolours, but I will go into detail a lot more when we make another comparison. It's also removed snow weather effects from snow areas, so we won't have to worry about that. It'll probably go to rain, I assume. I haven't run into that yet, so I'll be able to tell you. He's also retextured and renamed most of the snow animals. I was not expecting this, so once again, make sure that the immersion is not broken here. As well as regenerating LOD objects and LOD textures, so from afar you can actually see the distant terrain in a much higher detail, which is a really nice feature added because it makes, once again, like I keep saying, immersion key. So now we're going to move on to the winter edition and see what he's actually added in that. Okay, now we're looking at the winter edition of the Seasons of Skyrim. As we can see, it looks absolutely stunning, just like the summer version, in an area which doesn't usually have it. Like I was saying earlier, it does shine in different places. So first of all, it replaces all the snow and grassy snow textures with HD versions of them, and as you can see, they look very nice. Second, he's replaced all textures with snow textures, which means the whole landscape is now snow. Mountains will now be covered in snow from a distance, even though they weren't before. He's also covered most objects in snow, which means when you walk through a village or Whiterun, benches and tables will now be covered in snow, which is a really nice feature, as well as roofs to buildings and such. So it's really nice that he's added that. It gives another depth of immersion. Now, he actually says that all of Skyrim will be turned into a winter paradise, and I agree, it is done very superbly. I'm glad that he was able to do it because it really adds something else to the Skyrim experience. So, he also adds Skyrim snow effects to everywhere. So you can be walking through Whiterun or Riften and snow will come down, and it looks really nice as you walk through the city, which doesn't usually have snow, so it's quite nice to see it. He's also recolored some landscape, but not all at the moment, so you should see in a distance, like most of it will be snow, but he hasn't finished yet, which is understandable considering the pure undertaking of the task. Lastly, he's obviously done the same as Summer Edition, where he's regenerated LOD objects and LOD textures to be higher quality and in snow. So lastly, we'll be having a look at the lovely comparisons between them, between summer, winter and vanilla. So now we're going to have a look at the comparisons between summer, vanilla and winter. So this is a summer edition of a lake. We can see that the greener trees and stuff are all plotted around the edge and all the mountains are now green. As we now switch to the winter version, we can see a massive difference. Half the lake is now frozen and all of the mountains are filled with snow, and all the trees as well are covered in snow, which is nice. As we obviously go back to vanilla, we can see the snow on the mountains but greener down the bottom, and even the green foliage isn't actually as green as a summer edition, so that's something to bear in mind as well. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at Markov. This is the summer edition. Can't really see too much here. Just a little bit of greenery in the pavement slabs, and obviously the trees are a little greener as well. We now switch to winter, and now Markov is also turned into that winter paradise that the author was talking about. We can see snow everywhere, and as this is what I was talking about when I was saying that pretty much the snow covers objects. We now switch back to vanilla, and we can see that the engravements in the pavement are now actually a little less green, and the trees are like a little browner. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm now just going to go through a list of compatibility and incompatibility. First of all, Winter Edition is fully compatible with Realistic Lighting Overhaul, also compatible with ELFX except with the Enhancer plugin, fully compatible with Pure Water, also compatible with most snow mods and snow textures, so you can use your favourite snow textures. Compatible with Climates of Tamriel, but you please got to use the patch under the tab Miscellaneous. It's also compatible with Frostfall, Wet and Cold and Get Snowy. Frostfall is compatible, but he doesn't know if any of the Skyrim will be affected by the hardcore mode now. He hasn't actually tested it. It does seem to be compatible with Footprints. Most mods should be compatible. If you find any incompatibilities, please inform him. And most texture mods should also work. You can use snow textures and ice textures, but do not use any other landscape or grass retextures. So thank you very much for watching, guys. If you liked, please subscribe and tune in for the next Mediocre Weekly Mod Mention. Thank you and goodbye.